Okay, guys, the next step that we're going to talk about is kind of just give you an overall breakdown, kind of a start to finish when you get in a house all the way to the very end, and then we'll break it down a little bit more in separate videos. But the first thing you want to do in every situation, once you get in, you want to have some time where you're building some rapport, okay? And I'll get into a little bit more in depth with that here in a minute. But building some rapport, we want to do some fact finding. We want to know why our potential client, filled that card out or reached out to us on Facebook. I think that's very, very important. You need to know why, okay? Without that why, it's going to get very tough to move forward, okay? So you're building the rapport, you have your fact finding, why we're here, okay? The next step is your explanation of service, okay? Having a very strong EOS is crucial, and having conviction for this is going to help eliminate a lot of your rebuttals. Not all of them, but a lot of them, okay? So having that is really important. If you don't have that and you don't do it consistently, you're definitely going to struggle. So we'll break that down in the EOS. Part of that explanation of services, we always want to share with our clients, how many people that we help per month. So for me, when I'm presenting to somebody, I tell them, I'm helping 25 to 35 families per month. Okay, so then we go to what our mission is all about. That is important because you want those people to know why you do what you do, okay? And then ultimately we ask them, what we're trying to accomplish here, okay? And this is all on the front page of your card. The EOS, how many clients that we help per month, your mission, and what we want to accomplish here. Just take care of final expenses, leave money behind, or both, okay? So, and again, we'll break down some of those parts here in a second. But when we flip that card over, we talk typically about the benefits, and one of the benefits is whole life insurance, okay? It does build a cash value. Your rate is locked in, okay? So as you age or if your health changes, it does not matter. At that point, I always ask the question, and it's not on that card, but I always want to ask them, now, do you know the difference between whole life and term? Okay, and most times they're going to say no, and sometimes when they do say yes, they really don't know. So what I let them know is, with term, you may get stuff in the mail from like Globe, AARP, Colonial Penn. Typically, those are term policies. Anything you get in the mail, you see stuff on TV, that's typically term insurance. Okay. So with term insurance, I do let them know it pays out in less than 4% of the time because people either outlive their term or their rates become too high and they can't afford it anymore. But I let them know you may have a 10, 15, 20-year term policy. Your rates continue to go up. And at any point, if you decide, hey, I can't afford this anymore, or you hit your term, you're no longer covered and everything you pay into that is gone. Okay, so that's one thing I explain to them, and I give them the pros of whole life, and I let them know, hey, we have both. So I'm not biased, but I think it's very important as people age, they get in their 50s, 60s, 70s, especially with our clients, they're on a fixed income, so it's very important that they have a rate that's locked in so that they can get it in their budget and they know exactly what they're paying each month. No surprises. I also let them know on the benefits that they're getting a local agent, okay? So they know that their family members, and I tell them, your kids, your brothers, whomever it may be, and I try to leave plenty of cards for them, let them know that they can contact me when that time comes because, when someone passes, it's the worst day of their life. And they're not always thinking straight, so I want them to know that they can call me. Some of the clients, family members do call, some don't. It's all dependent on them. I think it's also important on that card it states about Social Security paying $255, and that's one time in a household. So, if it's a husband and wife situation, whoever passes first, the other will obviously get the 255. After that, there is no more 255. If you're with someone and they're single, they're not married, unless they have dependents living at home with them, they're not qualifying either. Okay, so that's one thing that's important to let them know. Some other questions I think that are really important is asking them if they want a traditional burial or a cremation. Because if that time comes and they just want to take care of their final expenses, you need to know, what that pricing is for those two different situations, burial or cremation. If they want burial, I will always ask them, now, do you have a plot? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but that's going to be important when it gets into the pricing stage. That way you're able to deliver them what they're looking for. So that's very important that we ask those questions. So the next step would obviously be going into the health questions. We have a fact-finding sheet in Dropbox. You need to fill that out every single time. You'll fill out all the health questions, go through line by line, check yes and no. You'll see a medication sheet or a medication on the bottom of that sheet. List all the medications out. That way, if you need help on the underwriting, you can snap a picture and you can send that to one of us. Very, very important that you ask any health or any medications that you may have been on in the last 2 years, and let them know. This is very important because every carrier will do a prescription background check, and it will take a very long time if people aren't upfront with you. So that's very, very important. Final stage, obviously, is the pricing. We have the 3-option worksheet, which you'll find in Dropbox as well, that Julia's provided. I always, on the top line, unless someone's adamant that they only want to take care of final expenses, then I will verbally tell them what they qualify for. But typically, what I do is I put their max coverage, and typically it's 25 or 30,000 with a lot of these carriers, and then I go, say if it's 25, I'll do like a 25, a 20, and a 15. Okay, if people want to leave money behind or if they want a traditional burial, that's very, very important. And we'll try to do a little bit more breakdown of the pricing, but overall view, as soon as someone picks a price, okay, if it's $80 a month, the first thing we do is we go to the application and we ask what the beneficiary's middle initial is, because you should already know up front what the middle or what the name is of the beneficiary. So ask for the middle initial. That's the first thing that you fill out on the application. That is your close. Okay, so when somebody picks a price, hey, $80, that's comfortable for me, great. I go right to the application because I had found the carrier. That's how I got the pricing. I go right to the application. I get down the beneficiary's name and what the middle initial is. Okay, so that's very important. And then you're filling out the rest of that application, calling into Mutual of Omaha, Liberty Bankers, whoever it may be, and doing the phone verification. Okay, at that point, they will be able to tell you yes, they qualify, or no, they don't. You may have to pivot from that standpoint, but hopefully it's good to go. So those are kind of the stages that we'll go over from point A to point B, from the building the rapport all the way to the pricing in the next few segments. And lastly, when we enroll a client, okay, and there's a video in Dropbox about this, but it's very important after we get everything taken care of with the pricing, that we make sure that we hit our referrals, okay, and how we handle that client after we get them enrolled. So those are some things that you're going to be seeing here in the next few videos. So again, watch it, rewatch it, call, ask questions, but that's what you'll be seeing in the next several segments. So, all right, hope you enjoy and hope it's very beneficial for you.